Hello everybody, good afternoon and welcome to the United Stands. I'm Mark Goldbridge and this is your Manchester United versus Bournemouth watch-along. Big game for Manchester United, of course. Big changes from Erik ten Hag. No Rasmus, as you can see on the screen there. Anthony Martial starts, Rasmus on the bench. Rashford passing a fitness test. Obviously, there was a scare about his illness yesterday. He plays for Manchester. He's on the bench for Manchester United. But apart from Martial coming in for Rasmus, it's the same Manchester United side. Am I happy with it? I mean, no, I wanted Rasmus to start. I felt he would score today. But I actually have said this a couple of times about Rasmus before. I think he's carrying a bit of a muscle injury and I think it's about managing it. It's frustrating. It is frustrating. But I think if Rasmus was fully fit, he would be playing this game the same as Bruno, the same as Anthony, the same as Garnacho. But I don't think it. I think we're managing something, and I think in doing that, you can't necessarily have a huge issue with it. So yeah, I think that's what's happening there, if I'm being completely honest. Title charge, I think people coming in from the countdown to kickoff. Yeah, not for me. No, don't think that's happening at all. I think that having just watched the Liverpool game, I think they are looking very, very strong, and Arsenal play Villa later, so I don't see a title charge for Manchester United, if I'm being completely honest, and I'm surprised that anybody would. But on the other hand, I think that what we do have is an opportunity to potentially push ourselves into a top four race, as silly as that sounds. When you look at the league table there, and you've got Man City in fourth place, we could go level with them with a win today. Obviously, I think they'll beat Luton tomorrow, but we could go level with them. But the top four race in itself, I've said it to you before, is very problematic because, you know, Villa make top four very difficult for us. Liverpool, Arsenal will be in the top four. Man City will be in the top four. So it does make it very, very difficult for United to put themselves into a title race when you've got Villa in there at the moment. Villa's the team that we need to drop out of it. And look, if we win today and Arsenal beat Villa, then we're only 2 points off them. But yeah, but look, back onto the team news. Like I say, Martial starting. Look, he's got to put the hard yards in, hasn't he? He's got to put the hard yards in today, considering how hard we worked on Wednesday night. I think Bournemouth have done quite well recently, but I'm going to go with a 3-0 Manchester United win. I think you've got to be looking to win these games and win them comfortably. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 Manchester United win. Let's just have a look if Erik ten Hag has had anything to say before the game. I'm sure he has. So no, I haven't seen any quotes from Ten Hag yet. I will keep searching around for you because he does normally have a comment or two before the game. But yes, he has. He said this on why Anthony Martial starts. Rasmus has played a lot of games, many games to play as well, but also give Martial the opportunity. So yeah, I suspect that we're managing something here with Rasmus and its rotation. He says that Erik ten Hag on Bournemouth, they're in good form. They're a very good transition team, so we need to be at our very best, and I think that goes without saying. And as we reported earlier, Marcus Rashford has passed the fitness test this morning after missing training yesterday and is fit enough to be among the substitutes today, which I think puts to bed any nonsense stories that Marcus was looking to miss the game today through any silly rumours about moodiness or anything like that. I think there's a real opportunity. So yeah, Højlund has played a lot of games, and there are a lot of games to come as well. It's also an opportunity to give Anthony Martial, who did very well against Everton, but not so well against Liverpool. He's got to prove it every third day, whatever that means from Ten Hag. But yeah, it's lovely stuff. Lovely stuff. 3-0 is what I'm going to go for Manchester United. Yes, I'm going to go with a 3-0. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, let's have a look what people have got to say. Give us your thoughts on the team. We've had a super chat come in from MCC7. Says, I'm buzzing for the game. Do you think we will see the same fluidity in our front three without Rasmus? Says MC. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Scott McTominay scored again today. I think that there will be chances in and around the box, and that's where he's quite useful. We can't be satisfied with anything other than a convincing win, says Christoph. Well, I'd like to see a convincing win, Christoph, but if I'm completely honest, I'd just like to see a win. I think we just need to get another win here. Hi, Mark, says Spencer. Eric Ten Hag should go 3-5-2. Garnacho and Anthony wide players with good work rate. Amrabat, Mainu, Bruno midfield, Rasmus and Scooby up top. I don't think there's many teams in the modern world that play with a 5 or a 3 at the back anymore. Mickey says that Martial presses well. Watch him play. He can do that job, says Mickey. Well, hey, Mickey, you're so fine. Let's hope you're right and you blow my mind, because I think it's going to be a challenge for United with Rasmus playing to get the job without Rasmus. And I think it's a challenge that Martial needs to be up for today. But look, I feel a bit stuck for words with a game like this, because you just don't want to end up being a meme. I think we'll win 3-0, but we've been in these positions so many times before with United that you don't want to over-egg the pudding. You know, I don't want to be too confident, because you just never know. We've been beaten at home by... Didn't Palace beat us at home? I know Brighton beat us at home as well. So it's the sort of game that United could struggle in. So let's make sure that we're getting the job done. Last game seems McTominay got in the same positions as Højlund. Do you think McTominay new position hurts Højlund? Says HKN Music. Well, I don't care whether it hurts Højlund or not. It's from a Manchester United point of view, it's about what's best for Manchester United, isn't it? And we scored the goals and we won the game. I fancied Rasmus to score today, and I'm a little bit surprised that Ten Hag hasn't started him, because he hasn't scored in the Premier League. And if I was Ten Hag, I'd want to, you know, we're giving penalties to fucking Rashford so he can score. And I think this is a great game to put Rasmus into. But on the other hand, Ten Hag probably wants a fit and raring to go Rasmus up against Bayern Munich on Tuesday night. Saving him for Burnley, says Truth, which you may well be telling the truth, quite literally. Look, I want Rasmus to score goals. I want him to score goals for Manchester United, and I'd like to have seen him start today, but Ten Hag knows best. We played very fantastically well on Wednesday night, and let's hope that we can take it into this afternoon. 3 points is the priority, and if we can get a good performance as well, even better. I think that, you know, starting means that you're in possession of the shirt. People like Garnacho, people like Anthony, I want to see them having a good game and, you know, keeping people out of the team, keeping Rashford out of the team. Not because I don't want Rashford to play, but because they're playing well. So that's what I want to see from us today. There was absolutely no reason to change anything defensively. Wan-Bissaka's on the bench. Some people prefer him to Dalot, but I think, you know, keep the team pretty much the same. Amrabat as well. McTominay deserves to start for his goals. Yeah, I mean, the only change is the one which I think has to be down to fitness and rotation there. How far is Mason Mount off being fit, says Peter? I don't massively care. I don't massively, you know, I'm not being arsey, but I don't really care, Peter. Where would you put Mason Mount in this team other than the bench? Come on, United. Rasmus will score versus Bayern, says Showtime. And have you filmed a vid with Luke lately, says Dot? No. And I forgot we signed Mason Mount, says Disease Gaming. And to be honest, Rashford is the English Benteke, says Travis. Thank you very much for that, Travis. And how are you, says Savage. And hi, Mark. I wish Ten Hag would stop putting Donny on the bench. He should be in our team. If he's not going to use him, don't put him on the bench. Total disrespect, says Mr. D. And midfield will be wide open today, says 9. Well, I still think that this is a conversation to have. I really do think it is still very much a conversation to have, because, and I've said this many a time before, the midfield for Manchester United is good if certain people score goals. But I'm talking about McTominay, I'm talking about Bruno, but we do and did get hit on the break quite effectively when we played Chelsea in the first half. Teams will counter us. So this will be problem. I mean, look, win the game today, worry about Liverpool tomorrow. But if we go to Liverpool with that team, how's it going to work? You're going to ask Scott McTominay to sit next to Amrabat? Or you're going to ask Bruno to sit next to Amrabat? How will that even work at Anfield? I think he's got to come up with a different game plan. Pig has given 5 memberships. You're a legend. If you want to join the members club, by the way, and get your badge next to your name, like Noah and Tina and Scott, then and Tammy, then join the members club like Christian and Savage just have. Thank you very much for supporting and joining the TUS Ultras. I hopefully see some of you on Monday night. There are still a handful of tickets left. There's not many. I think there's only about 5 left. Our Christmas show in Manchester on Monday night. If you fancy being there, it's going to be a cracking night. We've got a quiz. Santa's giving out presents. We've got Ben Foster on the show. We've got a live fan forum. All sorts going on Monday night in Manchester. Get your tickets through the video description if you can. Maybe all gone now, but there was 5 this morning. Darren says, playing Shaw out of position just to keep Varane out of the team because he aired grievances last right isn't right. Want us to win, but not convinced by Ten Hag, says Darren. But I disagree with you, Darren. I don't think Luke Shaw's being played out of position to stop Varane from starting. I think that we're a better team with Luke Shaw playing as the left-sided centre-back because he's the only left-footer we've got and he gives us balance. I actually quite like the centre-back pairing of Maguire and Luke Shaw at the moment. Nasha's gifted as a membership as well, and United Scope's been a member for 10 months. How you hope for a win today, says Junior, who's one of our members as well. Ryan says, thank you for the membership, and hope we start fast to keep momentum going, says Jake Harrison, who is also a member. I agree. I think we've got to come into this game and start it fast. We did that so well against Chelsea on Wednesday night, and what you don't want to do is give Bournemouth confidence or composure. If you start fast at Old Trafford with 75,000 fans, it can be a very, very demanding and intensive stadia. And if we start slowly and let Bournemouth build momentum, then they will grow in confidence. So yeah, I agree with you on that one. We have a weird situation, says Neil, with McTominay. He can't stop scoring, but he also leaves us vulnerable in midfield. What do you think? I think this is a brilliant comment. Because it's not an easy conversation to have, Neil. And I think it's a fantastic point. It's not easy to score goals from midfield in the Premier League, and Scott McTominay is scoring a lot of goals. 2 against Brentford, 2 against Chelsea, a couple in between that. So he's scoring goals in the Premier League, which is not easy to do from midfield. But then there's a very real conversation about how exposed we get left in the midfield. I don't think it will happen today, but it is pissing it down in Manchester, by the way. Hi, Mark. Next Tuesday, I'm going to Old Trafford against Bayern, and it's my first game at Old Trafford. Any tips, says Darren? Yeah. Make sure you find your seat and sit down. Tony the Tiger, says Declan. I think Bournemouth will beat us, says Nefa. Get out. Go on, get out. Mark, do you think Sancho should be accepted back, says Mohammed? No. No, I don't. In fact, just before the start of the game, you've just reminded me of a couple of topical points. Cormac Hennessy, thank you very much for your super chat. I saw today, I think it was in The Athletic, that Manchester United are considering... They go, all right. How long? How long have you been? McTominay plan is basically Moyes and Fellaini ball, says Anthony. I don't know whether you saw it today, that I don't know how accurate it is, because it was coming in from The Athletic, so you'd think it would be. But apparently Manchester United are looking to renew the contracts of Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Mabry and Martial. Now, McTominay does not score every game, but he does leave the midfield open every game, says HK Music. The benefit is not worth the risk at the end of the season. If he keeps playing, it will show on the table. Well, this is something we need to keep an eye on, I agree. But I think with regards to the new contract situation, I've got to say, I feel that with certain players making the same mistakes again and expecting a different outcome is wrong. And even if Martial scores tonight, and I'm a big fan of Anthony Martial, it's not the right thing to do. How can you move forward when you're making decisions that are backwards? And Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, and Martial especially, are they players that are going to close the gap on Man City? No. Get ruthless. I wouldn't give any of them a new contract. Be ruthless. Is Wan-Bissaka going to win as a title? Is Lindelof going to win as a title? Is Martial going to win as a title? No. And as I said before, we shouldn't be signing bench players. So just get rid of them. Let them go. Move them on. I know it's harsh and I know it's ruthless, but I think that's what we need to be. Because if we give those 3 players a contract, we're not replacing those players. That's the way I look at it. You give Anthony Martial a new contract, he's on 250 grand a week. Well, we won't be getting another striker in then, will we? So these sort of rumours worry me a little bit. As for Jadon Sancho coming back into the team, Savage says this is going to be an easy game. We've got this. Come on, the Reds. And also, favourite Christmas song, Mark, says Mr. Pitt. Well, you might hear it on Monday nights. There you go. I'll give you that. Afternoon, Mark. Hope you're doing well. United, says Dan. Thank you very much, Dan. Lindelof gives United depth, says Robble. But this is where I think people go wrong. People will say Lindelof gives Man United depth. Okay, Lindelof gives Man United depth. Get rid of Lindelof and buy a better centre-back that competes for a first-team spot. My point is this. If you've got Victor Lindelof as your backup centre-back, but you get rid of Victor Lindelof and you buy, I don't know, Anisho from Lisbon, you've got a better quality of centre-back fighting for centre-back places, haven't you? Hi, Mark. Big love. Watches your recent podcast. Just don't agree of not putting Wayne Rooney on the best 11. I'm just a huge Wayne Rooney fan. That's absolutely fine, Moeen. Delo isn't winning anything either. I'm sticking with Wan-Bissaka, says Liam. And here's something to think about. If we want to be in the top 4 consistently in the Premier League, we need to consistently be in a title race, says Ash. Well, it looks like it this year, doesn't it? Dan, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much. Martial has never performed in a United shirt, but he keeps getting renewed. I smell agent shenanigans, says Jermo. Well, he has performed in a Man United shirt, just not recently. Busy day today. Yeah, I've just done Liverpool-Chelsea, Liverpool-Palace, match reaction, and then I'm on to Villa-Arsenal, and then I'm on TalkSport, so it's a busy day today. How hasn't Donny had a chance, says Jobby? Under Ten Hag at United, feels like McTominay is playing the same role as Donny did under Ten Hag at Ajax. Well, but, McTominay is scoring goals. I would be very surprised if Scott McTominay had been dropped for today's game. And I think they was talking about the year extension and therefore maybe the Fred logic. Add a year to protect value but still sell in the summer, says Glennie. Yeah, well, if that's what they're doing, I don't have a problem with that. I don't. One sec. We're having so much fun. And what rhymes with fun? I think, yeah, okay, thank you very much, Glennie. Players coming out onto the pitch. Varane should be given minutes today, regardless of him leaving. Might need him as a sub to bail the team out against Liverpool and against Bayern, says Cormac. Well, I'll tell you a little bit of a joke here, although it's not much of a joke. If I was Varane or Rashford, I would be really hoping that my comeback game isn't Anfield, because that is a thankless task, isn't it? You almost do not want to be picked in that game, because I think a lot of people are predicting how it's going to go. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks, HKN Music says, why do United fans hate Martial so much? His problem has always been injuries, but most United fans don't rate him while rating Shaw, who's missed more games than Martial. It's HKN. Dutch media reports that Ten Hag is working on a swap deal with Dortmund and Milan for Sancho. It's a load of crap, Benno. We spoke about it yesterday. And stop rewarding failure. Lindelof and Martial have been here since Mourinho days, says Chris. I would cut their losses. I like Martial. I do like Martial. And I do like Lindelof. But I think if you want to get better and close the gap on the Liverpools and the Arsenals and the Manchester Cities, then you need to, like you say, remove some players. Hi, Mark. Love the channel and all you do. How do you watch? I listen on the radio, Harry, yeah. And my concern with Martial starting is the work rate. Højlund worked his socks off last game. I can't see Martial even putting in 50% of that press, says Untouchable. This is a great point. This is a great point. Absolutely fantastic point. The work rate from the front three on Wednesday and the McTominay, Amrabat and Bruno behind them was the key to the kingdom. It was the absolute key to the kingdom. Now, if we don't put that in today, then we are going to struggle, really, really struggle. And the key to a press is the front three, because they are the players that put the effort in. And I think that with Martial today, he's got to put that work in, has to put that work in. Anyway, everybody, let's get ready to enjoy it, hopefully. I love your content. I hope United win 3-0, says Carmine. That's the one I've gone with. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. And also, did you know Bruno will miss Anfield with a yellow? Thank you very much, Logan. This is the brilliance of the chat. You're absolutely spot on. If Manchester United, if Bruno Fernandes gets a yellow card today, then he is out of the Anfield game. So, yes, keep an eye on that. We're just about to start here. Martial has been decent recently. I know he doesn't work as hard, says Nick P, but I don't think we look terrible with him. He's a slick finisher. I've always been a big fan of Anthony Martial, and I've always wanted him to do well at Manchester United. And I think that injury has been the big problem. But even I, as a fan of Martial, would say you've got to move on. You know, you've got to move on at some point. Biko says, I'll be recalled. I feel Mason Greenwood could be recalled in January if we sell Sancho. Also, I think Anthony can score if he goes to the goalie left instead of always to the right. I think there's absolutely no chance of Mason Greenwood being recalled in January. Absolutely none. Nothing's changed in relation to the outrage that would be there from certain people. You might have seen this Christmas jumper already. Garnacho Ho. Emulating the amazing goal. Well, I'm wearing it today because it's a Christmas cracker, but also because it won Premier League Player of the Month. So if you want to get yours delivered, we have lots of Christmas jumper designs. Check it out through the live chat or United Stand Shopify. Get yours delivered before Christmas. A bit of a mess up at the back here. Luke Shaw passes it back to Onana. It's a very wet pitch. The ball holds up and Onana, well, it's got to be a goal kick. It's got to be a goal kick or a penalty. I don't think you can give a... Could be a... I don't know what they're going to look at here. It's not a corner. Play on. Yeah, it was a goal kick, yeah. I thought they'd given a corner, and I was like, well, he definitely didn't touch it. But the pitch is very wet. You know what? One other thing as well I hadn't mentioned to you is please subscribe to the channel. By the way, that was not it, but I've dropped Saka from my FPL team to put Garnacho in the starting lineup today. I'll be Pratt of the Week on the podcast if it goes wrong. Where's the lucky elf, says Morgan. I know, I can't bloody use him. Hi, Mark. I'll see you on Monday. Would you rather us go to the Champions League or go out of Europe? Sorry, would you rather go to the Europa League or go out altogether? I'd rather go in the Europa League, but I hate it, Darren. We need the money, though. We need the money. Thanks for the super chats. Saka's going to score a brace, says Frank. We'll see. But it's a bit, we've only had 2 minutes here, but I want to see some intensity from Manchester United. Nice little layoff by Anthony again into Bruno. I think Bournemouth will play this. Oh, cross came in from Garnacho. Delo still around the box. Look at the position McTominay's taken up there. He's just finding these positions again, but it didn't drop to him. I bloody love it if Garnacho scores. 1, because I've got the jumper on, and 2, because he's in my FPL team. I'll look a right cool person. Pyan says, the 3 p.m. blackout in the UK is wrong. All it does is drive fans to dodgy streams. Mate, you're talking, you should be, I'll vote for you for Prime Minister, mate. Full Clip says, why is Martial starting? I think it has to be rotational. Well, even Warren G says that Scooby-Doo's going to score. Even when we put that cross in there, he's just stood on the penalty box completely unmarked. I mean, do the opposition not respect McTominay enough? He seems to take up a lot of good space. Horrible passing so far, says Quai. It's really wet out there. I've just seen Marty Pello walking around on the touchline. It's that wet. You've definitely got to be of a certain age to know that joke. How's the link-up play looking? Marks is forever greatest. And, well, Bournemouth have started off quite well. Hi, Mark. I'm not a member, but Super Chat regularly. Hope that counts. Do you have a preference, says Anthony? To what? No. Appreciate it. Bournemouth here. Running off. Oh, for fuck's sake, man. Who's marking who there? He's completely unmarked, Solanke. What's going on? This defence is getting banged more times than a porn star's chuff. What the hell is going on there? Why is that happening there? Why is that happening there? How is that happening there? That's incredible. You've got to look at the centre-backs there. And I've been very happy with Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire, but this is just a cross into the box. Reguilon with a terrible ball. McTominay soft in the 50-50. But we're not marked. There's 2 centre-backs, and we've left their striker completely and utterly unmarked. Absolute shit marking there. One 0 to Bournemouth. 1-0 to Bournemouth. They're acting like he's got some sort of disease, Solanke. He's a good striker. You can't just leave him alone like that. He's literally... The cross comes in. Solanke's here. 5 metres to Shaw. 5 metres to Maguire. He's got a 10-metre gap. Centrally to goal. I mean, it's just sloppy. It's sloppy from Manchester United. Some people are blaming the pass. Some people are saying McTominay's got to tackle better. I think it's a catalogue of errors there. I think it's a number of mistakes. The marking from the centre-backs, the pass out from the back, was it Reguilon or Bruno? McTominay's got to be stronger in the 50-50. Yeah, it's a shocking. Stefan's right, the centre-backs are falling asleep there. And it's a shame because I quite like the balance, but you've got to be a lot. You can't leave a striker mark like that. It's really bad, really, really bad. James, welcome to the members. Sorry, James says, with the news of that Sky deal to show games from 25 to 26, do you think the Glazers will continue hold out for an all-in-one service? Says James. Well, I don't know what's happening with the sale. We're losing 1-0 to Bournemouth, mate. Defence is totally caught out of position. The lack of focus and structure in the defence is what costs us every time. I think we win, though, says Robert. Well, look, this happened with Forest, didn't it? Forest scored 2 in the first 5 minutes and we still won. There's a long way to go, but... sleepy defensively. We've been saying this. We are giving up a lot of chances. I know we've had a few clean sheets, but we are giving up a lot of chances. As useless as a waterproof tea bag, just look at Scott sleeping in that midfield. He doesn't want to get out of the box. He's confused, says Mario. Rashi hasn't and ain't going to win us the league, so for our sake, and here's why waste time. Move on and try something new. It's been 7 years now. Inconsistent, says Michael Fetty. Maguire's just headed it over the... well, it wasn't much power on it, but the keeper's just had to tip it over the bar, but it was never going to go in. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. Hi Mark, hope you're well. Saw someone online that Hoyland is praised for what Weghorst was criticised for, says Arseny. You can't compare Weghorst to Hoyland, mate. If you're Bruno, you cannot make that pass. Pinned in your own corner, boot it long if you have to. Luckily, it looks like there will be lots of goals, says United Nate. I thought it was Reguilon who played that pass. Maybe I was wrong. How is it Amrabat's fault? I'd love to know that. And what is it about Amrabat that some of our fans are complete pricks about? I don't get why people just won't give Amrabat a chance. I've noticed it's a minority, but I've definitely noticed there are some people in our fan base and this chat who just literally despise Amrabat and just will not give him a chance at all. 100% not Bruno, not Amrabat's fault. He got ran past because the player had the momentum and he was a standing start. Bayern losing 3-0 after 39 minutes. They aren't defensively strong. If we play like we did against Chelsea, you never know, says Cads. Five minutes into the game, 7 ball losses. United are so bad when they have to control the game. That was not the centre-back's fault. That was Bruno and Amrabat, says Stig. Mate, don't state to people bullshit. You can't make a statement just because you've done a super chat. That was Bruno and Amrabat's fault. It wasn't the centre-back's fault. Because I'm going to come back at you. I'm going to come back at you. And I'm going to say, I've seen that, right? Who was it who knocks it out the left-back position? Is it Reguilon or Bruno, right? That pass is stupid. Doing that pass in that position is stupid. So if it's Bruno or it's Reguilon, that's mistake number one. Mistake number two is that McTominay puts about all the fight of a fucking ant's fart in cotton wool. You know, it was weak. He's got to go and win that. You play for Manchester United. As we said before the game, scoring goals will mask bad midfield performances from him. He's got to go and win that. Thirdly, the player goes past Amrabat because he's sprinting past him and Amrabat's at a standing start. He can't do much about that. And finally, Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire cannot let Solanke be unmarked in between them in the best position in the 6-yard box. As a centre-back, you should be marking the most dangerous areas. Maguire's too far away from Shaw. He should be a lot closer, especially when that cross is coming in from that side. So, no, the centre-backs are at fault. The pass is bad. McTominay's got to put a better tackle in. It's crap defending. It's like looking in the bottom of a butcher's bin. It's disgusting. How will you feel when Arsenal win the treble, says Thomas? Well, you've got to do it first. We're missing Rasmus already. That energy is crucial. The way he moves defences around is so important. Love Amrabat lately. He's been brilliant for us, says Sean. And inconsistencies again. Couldn't keep a clean after a bath, says Tom. I need to rewrite that. Chris the Red says Luke Shaw should block the cross. I think Luke Shaw should block the cross, but I think Maguire should be... I don't know why Maguire's... It goes past Shaw and then Solanke's unmarked and then Maguire's that way. Maguire should be across as well. Like, I think both centre-backs can do a lot better there. Gems, thank you very much for gifting a membership. And I don't like it when we start blaming individuals. As a team, we need to wake up and stop thinking about last week's awards. Yeah, look, Nick, we win as a team. I like what Nick's saying there. We win as a team and we make mistakes as a team. And I think collectively that goal is not pinned up on... Look, if Onana has a P-roller and it goes through his legs, he's at fault. But I think that goal, there's a lot of people at fault for it. And what you can't do is... blame it on one person because you don't like that particular player. You know, You could say Luke Shaw, it's all his fault because he doesn't block the cross. You could say McTominay, it's all his fault because he's weak in the tackle. You could say Maguire, it's all his fault because he's too far away from Solanke. You know, it's a collectively lazy goal to concede. Most best clubs wake up after they got hit. We used to fall asleep after we got hit, says Irfan. And every signing we make has so much hype, then they end up being below par, says Chris. Amrabat, another example of this. We're our own worst enemy. Well, we need to bloody wake up here. Nice ball by Delo. McTominay in the box again. I mean, McTominay is basically just in the box shooting all the time, isn't he? Lovely ball by Amrabat. Switches it out. Here's Anthony. Cuts inside. Nice little pass into McTominay. Goes for the cross. Need to get the shot off there. Martial showing improvements in his hold-up play, says Half. Every signing... We have done that one as well. Thank you very much. Frankfurt are beating Bayern 3-0, says Harish. Forest are beating Wolves 1-0 as well, away from home. 0-0 between Brighton and Burnley. 0-0 between Sheffield United and Brentford. Jay says, Amrabat isn't Kante, he needs help in the midfield. Well, he does, yeah. Busy day today, Goldbridge. Yeah, Aston Villa against Arsenal after this, and then I'm on TalkSport later. Hopefully, not listening to Man United fans saying Ten Hag out again. Jay says, I love Garnacho. He's such a traditional winger. They got a shot off again there, Bournemouth. I'm just going to start the stats carousel for you now. It's going to start going round. Sponsored by OneFootball, 3 o'clock games. If you want to get the latest scores, download the OneFootball app for free, Apple and Android. Also, get all your latest breaking football news and transfer news. And also, as you can see on here, we've got the stats here from the first few minutes of the game. If you want to get the individual stats, go on the app for all the individual players. But we've had 82% possession for United, but we are losing 1-0. Anthony getting a lot of praise again in the chat. Good to see. Jep says, do you think we're saving Højlund for the Bayern game? Well, I think the Bayern game's absolutely massive, isn't it? I was looking at that the other day. There was such a contentious red card that Bayern should have got in stoppage time against Copenhagen, and they would have won that game. Instead, they drew it. So if we beat Bayern, we go to 7 points. But if Copenhagen beat Galatasaray, they go to 8. So we could beat Bayern and still go out. I love Garnacho, but I think he's made some mistakes. I hope he calms down, says SK. And this is this is when we need to see the mentality of the whole team go on and win the game and not just rely on individuals, says Mohammed. What in the world? Just got a chance to check the game and we're already down, says Chris. It's just sleepy football from United. It's exactly what Ten Hag warned them about in the press conference. He said, you've got to be on it 100% all the time in the Premier League, and if you're not, you'll get hurt. Hunter says, I don't know why we don't just use McTominay as a striker, like Giroud. And Cameron says, the press without Rasmus is non-existent. Well, yeah, Bournemouth are playing through the press so easier. Sherwood saying that Amrabat's being left on his own, says Grace. He's probably read that on a United fan page or on here, and we've been talking about it all season. I'm with Chris the Red. He says United just weren't turned on. They started the game slow and they fell asleep. And you can't do that at this level. Hi, Mark. Thank you for all your great content. Would you say happy birthday to my dad, Darren, for Monday, says Aidan. Happy birthday to Darren. I hope you have a good day on Monday. Press, not a press with Martial. It's simple, says Nasher. And Callum says, do you think Villa will be more successful in the next 5 years than United, and why? Well, I can't predict that, Callum. They're more successful at the moment, but I can't predict that. We're a bit sleepwalky, says Lewis. Well, I knew Bournemouth would be well organised and I knew they'd be energetic. So it begs the question why United didn't realise that. Anthony's looking like a mature, consistent winger for us, says Gummy. Picking his head up and playing intelligently. Garnacho is a firecracker, but defence is shaky, says Gummy. Nice play by Martial. That pass is good. Into Garnacho, back into Martial. Play by Anthony again. Yeah, I think what I've liked about Amrabat, and I think a lot of it's got to do with Delo, but he has simplified his game a lot. I think a lot of the time Anthony's problem is he overplays it or runs into danger. But I think in the last couple of games he gets the ball and he always makes an intelligent pass. Sean makes an interesting point. Sean Tyler says, cannot break teams down who sit deep, though. Yeah, well, we've seen that happen time and time again, haven't we? Unfortunately. Is there anything to be said for saying another mass, says Puller. Martial should get there in the bottom corner. Anthony plays it simple. Nice ball into Bruno. Edge of the box to Martial, cleared away. Well, 20 minutes has gone already here. That's a bad ball by Anthony that time, though. We might have given him the kiss of death there. Thanks everyone who's tuning in, by the way. Please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, don't forget, we've got a match reaction straight after this where you can vote for your own player ratings, marking every player out of 10, 6 being the average. We'll give you the link for that in the second half. And also, got the fan forum after that as well. Just looking at the goal back. Yeah, it's just centre-backs need to do better. Definitely need to do better. But it's not just on the centre-backs, you know. McTominay needs to do better as well. We shouldn't be too surprised, though. I mean, Bournemouth are on a good run. I think they've won 2 and drawn 2 of their last 4 Premier League games. Exactly what we didn't want to happen. We mentioned this before the game, didn't we? Exactly what we didn't want to happen. We didn't want to see Bournemouth, or certainly didn't want to see Bournemouth score, but the most important thing was to start the game quickly and intimidate Bournemouth and not let them grow into the game and be allowed to play their natural game, which they are doing at the moment. In fact, they look more likely to score than we do. They're in the box again here. And Arna's just made a very good save, and I think there's an offside. Why don't two players through the lines post to side, says Yazza. Could have been 2-0 there. Cross came in. I think Solanke is offside in the build-up. Yeah, Solanke's offside in the build-up. Gets a header away. And Arna saves it, and then the follow-up is headed in, but both offside. Martial, Rashford are too lazy to play for this club. We need people that give max effort to raise the standards, says Brian. And we're proper all over the place. You just don't know which side is going to show up. It's mental, says Akib. And the ideal way to break down sitting deep is the midfielder you speak about. A dribbler. We'll love to see that, says K-Flow. Very slow build-up play, says Saad. Could we put Varane on and put Luke Shaw to centre-back? Well, we could do that. I like Luke Shaw at left centre-back, but when you concede a goal because of it, it's a bit of a problem. Risco says Varane in and put Shaw at left-back as well. Look, Chelsea had chances in the first half. Let's not pretend that they didn't. See, I've got no fucking idea what Onana's doing there. I've got no fucking idea what he's doing there. Like, he's got the ball on the edge of the box under no pressure. Amrabat comes to receive it. Luke Shaw goes to the left to receive it. And he goes, no, I'm booting it long. Boots it long and Bournemouth win the fucking header. And we bought a ball-playing goalkeeper. Now, David De Gea would get clipped up for that. Look at De Gea here. Amrabat wants the ball. De Gea says, no, and boots it. I don't get what that's all about. But it's the inconsistency of Manchester United that's the problem. We spoke about this after the Chelsea game, didn't we? It's we can all run away. There will be ups and downs. I literally said there will be ups and downs for United. We will lose games. We will win games. That midfield will get overrun. That midfield will score goals. We're going to be very inconsistent this season. It's we've already seen it. Got no cutting edge at the moment, says Ronnie. Well, I'd like to see Rasmus on right now, but obviously there's a reason that he hasn't started the game because we just look very lethargic, and I don't get it. I can never understand it. I never understand it. It's that motivation that we seem to struggle with. You never know what United you're going to get. It's like Forrest Gump and his box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get, and you never know what you're going to get with Manchester United. Unreliable. Like a candle in the wind. Candle in the wind, FC. That's what we should be called, because we're unreliable. You never know whether we're going to burn brightly or go out. Oh, fucking hell. I thought they'd scored again then. Corner, Bournemouth, flicked header. Derek says Liverpool was shit. Oh, I watched the Liverpool game, Derek, and I'm not going to pretend that Liverpool played any better than Man United. Certainly not in the first 70 minutes, but the difference is we're at home to Bournemouth, you're away to Palace. I'd expect Man United to play a little bit better here. I don't like the balance of the midfield. I haven't liked the balance of the midfield all season. I don't like it. I think better coached teams can exploit it. I think Amrabat, Mainu. We saw Mainu at Newcastle. We've seen Amrabat tonight. We've seen Casemiro at the start of the season. You get absolutely overrun. Good ball by Amrabat. Worst Man United team off the ball in a while, says Mawar. And Paul Merson was right. We are a bag of rebels, says Jim. And Dortmund or Leipzig today, Mark, says Berwin. I don't really care. I don't watch the Bundesliga. Martial, in fairness, I'm seeing a lot of criticism of Martial, but Martial is never going to run around like Rasmus. He can't do it. Rashford is never going to run around like Rasmus. One thing that our fan base haven't actually figured out about Rasmus yet is it's not just speed and aggression. He actually is an intelligent presser of the ball. He runs and closes angles off. Good morning, Mark. You should check out videos on the baseball player Trey Turner and the standing ovation. I think could be helpful for our team with fragile mental strength, says Joe. Martial hasn't got the movement to do what Rasmus has done. Rashford's got the speed to do it, but doesn't have the brain to do it. So we really do miss Rasmus because he's the only intelligent presser we've got. As Sander says, his off-the-ball work is superb. So we miss a player like that. But United need to kick up the arse here. This is far from good enough. What we're doing here on the stats. One shot on target in half an hour against Bournemouth. They've had the better chances. Interception by Maguire. He'll have to do it again. And another good interception by Maguire there. Could start an attack. Good play by Anthony down the wing. Oh, this ref's crap. How's he not giving a foul on Anthony there? How's he not giving a foul on Anthony there? This ref's a fucking idiot. Bruno was fouled. Anthony played on. Anthony gets fouled. Referee says no. Fucking idiot. Absolute idiot. The officiating gets worse. You got to question. I don't know. Sorry, mate. Got to point out, if I understand and agree with your opinion on McTominay, but Rashford last season did the same. His goals overshadows his bad game, says Vol. Yeah, look, I'll never ever be a fan of Scott McTominay as a midfielder. I think he's pants. To be honest with you, I think his speed, his tackling, his reading of the game, his picking up of the runners, his passing are all very, very low par. But you can't criticise his ability to score goals. But the point is, can you carry McTominay in a Man United side and just rely on his goals? Well, if you're winning 2-1 against Chelsea, you can. If you're getting late winners against Brentford, you can. But will it Will it be good enough? I just don't think it will. I think you need more in your midfield than that because Amrabat gets exposed all the time. Looks like Bournemouth want 1-2 time. Don't think Martial's done that bad. We've been poor in the final third. Pace is still the issue against us at the back, says SK. Welcome to Members Club, Claydon. Mark, it is self-destruction to leave Varane on the bench. We need Shaw on the left. I like the manager, but he's stubborn and it will cost us, says Marcus. Well, I'm sort of going to disagree with you in a way because I think our best centre-back pairing last season when Martinez was injured was Varane and Shaw. I think Shaw as a left-sided centre-back is probably our best left-sided centre-back instead of Martinez. So I do quite like it, but Reguilon's nowhere near as good as him as a left-back. My problem with this performance is it's not been terrible from United, but we just don't look like we're going. If I was Bournemouth, I wouldn't be bothered. I really wouldn't be that bothered. It doesn't look like we don't look like we're going to score a goal. Whereas Bournemouth, when they break, I think it could be problematic. McTominay got bullied a bit there. So we've got 35 minutes. Manchester United are losing 1-0 here. Reguilon's on a yellow card, by the way, if you haven't picked up on that. Luke Shaw trying to play out from the back here, and Arna just boots it forward. There is a running theme with United, though, and I have said it to you a few times before. Man United need to score first. Well done, Anthony. He's having a cracking game. He's really, really becoming a bit of a spark for this team, isn't he? I know it's only 2 games, but he's working so hard. Exactly, says Gene. Bayern score. Second half just kicked off, says Sean. Thank you. And Martial gets a shot off straight at the keeper. AK says he'll take Garnacho off for Rashford. Safwan says if we bring in Højlund, things will change. Still a long way to go. Stretford end in the second half. We can score 2 goals in 3 minutes of stoppage time. So, you know, things can change around. But I feel like to me, the big problem with this game is that, and I don't know what you think, give me your thoughts, but I think to me, the big problem here is that we're just not getting a grip on the game. You know, like a game has an identity sometimes. You get your 50-50s, your back and forths, but Rasmus is going to warm up here. I feel like the game is... it has no identity from Manchester United at the moment. It's just very scrappy. Whereas I can see what Bournemouth are doing, but United just can't get a foothold in the game. We can't seem to string anything together that's momentum. That's the word I'm talking about. We can't build any momentum. Against Chelsea, from minute 1, we had a momentum, we had a style, and we knew what we were doing. We're struggling to get any momentum in this game. And playing with Martial and Reguilon is like playing with 9 men, says Joseph. And you might be right. That might be a factor. But we're not building any patterns of play. I don't think anybody's really settled into the game apart from Anthony. Every pass is sort of like, oh, is it going to make it? Who's it going to go to? Playing with Marcy, I've done that from Joseph, thank you. Passing's been bad, says Daniel. It's coming from the midfield, says Jack. Good play by Garnacho, but there's no one on the edge of the box. Foul there on Bournemouth. Amrabat is useless, says Andrew. Why is Amrabat useless, Andrew? What is your problem with Amrabat? I don't think Amrabat's done anything wrong. I think he's being left on his own a lot, but I don't think he's done anything wrong. McTominay's like a ghost so far, but you just hope he's going to pop up with a goal. Wolves have equalised. Kuna. Scottish FM, thank you very much for being a member. Bayern are losing 4-1 to Frankfurt. Just having a look who's playing for Bayern. We're playing, but the reason it's relevant is we're playing Bayern on Tuesday night, of course. Kane, Sane, Koeman, Goretzka, Kimmich, Kim Min-jae, Upamecano, Davies. Yeah, it's pretty strong team. Oh, God. Bournemouth, hit the post. Fucking hell. We're so lucky. I think Garnacho's gone down here. Caught one in the face. Again, I mean, Solanke must think he's in a training ground. I mean, the Maguire's not tight enough there. Shaw's running past him. Hits the post. Centre-backs are having a bloody nightmare. Bit of cake, please. Carrot. Thank you. I could do with a bit of cake and a cup of tea. I could really do with it. Who's a better player for United, McTominay or Fellaini? Oh, God, don't do that. Do you want to do a poll? Someone else can do it. I'll pass it to a poll. Either or, McTominay or Fellaini, you do it. I can't speak about this. Also, I don't understand the hate for Reguilon, says Sean. He's been good since coming in and easily an upgrade on Malacia. Again, I think Amrabat has been good, and I'm happy to see Anthony putting in another shift. Jace, Bruno is invisible so far, says Brian. And also, I think, welcome to the Members Club, Gianluca. And thank you very much for joining the Members Club. I think Anthony's been man of the match so far. I think Anthony's been man of the match. McNominus. Sorry, Mark, but that person was right regarding Amrabat. He plays like he has glue on his boots. He just got ran past with ease. Worst signing ever, says Con. You jinxed the centre-back pairing. Well, look, I think Maguire got man of the player of the month and he deserved it. I think Luke Shaw and him played well in the second half against Chelsea. But, you know, you want to encourage them and you want it to work. But then there is a big part of you that just says... they have made a lot of mistakes in the past. They have been bad in the past. Are they suddenly going to not make mistakes? Look, I don't think we're going to ever live in a world where Harry Maguire doesn't make mistakes. I don't think we're ever going to live in a world where Victor Lindelof doesn't make mistakes. I don't think we're ever going to live in a world where Scott McTominay becomes a good midfielder. But it's whether you want to take the goals and ignore the rest. Somebody made a great point. Rashford last season, take his goals away. Does he play well for the team? Does he create things? Does he work hard? Did Rashford's goals last season cover up? He doesn't do much else. And if you take the goals away, you're left with what we've had for 5 months. Now, that's about how you want to consume your football. Do you want to consume your football in a very basic way and say, look, the goals are all I care about? Or do you want to consume your football and go, I support Manchester United. I want us to compete with Arsenal and Liverpool and Man City. Now, if you want to compete with Liverpool, Arsenal and Man City, then you need to change your centre-back pairing. You need to change probably most of that midfield. And you probably need to change your right-back. So there's a lot to change. But if you say that, you've got an agenda against those players. But if I had $500 million to spend, I'm changing both my centre-backs, 2 of them are midfielders, and my right-back straight away. So that's half the team. We should go in for Solanke, says Trey. And I think we're kidding ourselves regards Rasmus being rested. Ten Hag took a workhouse out of the team thinking we were covered for hard workers, says Nick P. No, I think I pretty much know that Rasmus has got a bit of a problem. So I just don't. I think 100% Ten Hag would have started him today if he thought he could start on Tuesday. I told you all yesterday we'll play differently today. Fullback's not backing up the press. Ten Hag football style is too inconsistent at this level, says Daniel Shabar. Well, we're about 2 minutes away from the end of the first half, and then there's stoppage time. I'd get Rasmus on, Sam. I don't think it's even because Anthony Martial's playing terrible. I would just get Rasmus on because I feel that it just brings an energy to the crowd. I didn't want to say this, but if you've never been to Old Trafford, or you don't have your finger on the pulse of the fan base, Martial's not well liked. And he won't be well liked. When I say not liked, they're not booing him, but he's not loved by the fan base. Whereas I think if Højlund comes on, it will lift the crowd. And that could be just because Martial's been here for a long time, and Rasmus is new. But I think that's certainly a substitution that needs to take place because we're losing 1-0 here. And he brings energy to the crowd, Jerry, exactly. So we need to make some changes, yeah. Build-up's been too slow, says Kate. Yeah, I mean, you think about the chances that we created against Chelsea in the first half, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think we had 28 chances at full time. So let's say we created 15 chances. Just what's the difference between Bournemouth and Chelsea? Manchester United. I don't think it's Bournemouth. I think it's Manchester United. I think the intensity has dropped off massively. HKN says Højlund would not make a difference in this game. The hate for Martial is crazy, says HKN. Slow Sports News says, as I said before, we'll have one good game and it's like it's enough. But I can't say I'm surprised by this. I really can't. I said it after the Chelsea game. Very, very happy with it, but don't expect us to go and start winning, playing like that every week. We haven't done that since the days of Sir Alex. Moyes, Mourinho, Van Gaal, Ollie, Ranić, Ten Hag. No one's been able to do it. They're on the break again here, Bournemouth. It's a 4v3. Good tackle, Maguire. Very good tackle, Maguire, because that could have been a goal. Right, Martial's on the right wing. Well done, Amrabat. Well done, Amrabat. Maguire and Amrabat with some big moments there. Get the ball to Anthony. I think he's been brilliant. He's got us up the pitch. He's used the ball well. I've really been happy with Anthony today. Fenix says Maguire's been brilliant. I've seen 3 big interceptions from Maguire. 3 big interceptions. I mean, he's at fault for the first goal, but so is Luke Shaw. Can I get Seb to bring me a spoon? Or a fork? Yeah, Maguire's made some good interceptions today. But he was at fault for the goal. Our passing has been atrocious, says Reese. But you know, McTominay was at fault as well. Bruno, Shaw, we just slipped off. Come and say hello to everybody.
Hello.
Maguire's just made a good tackle, but we are losing 1-0. What do you think about that?
Not good.
Martial's just missed a chance. Go on now. See you in a bit. Thanks for the fork. What are you doing now?
Going for a walk on my scooter.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was raining. We've got 4 minutes added on here, and we've only got another minute to go. Anthony's best performance this season was that interview, says 58 Go. Well, that interview has been inspirational. Thank you very much to the United Stand. And also, give Seb a big round of applause, because Seb was the one who started publicly saying Harry Maguire was his favourite player. Stick with Harry Maguire. And Harry Maguire started playing well almost at the same time. So he has said to me, shall I start doing it for Rashford? And I said, but what if your power's only on one player? You start doing it for Rashford, then Maguire starts playing shit. Stick with Maguire. Losing at half time here. You know, thoughts on the half. Well, we're losing at half time. That's my thoughts on the half. 54% of you chose Fellaini over 46% McTominay, by the way. Do you make changes at half time? I think you have to. I think you have to. Half time, there it is. I feel that he's got to get hold of this midfield. I still feel that we've got no momentum in this game. And he's got to figure out how to get that momentum, because I can't see the momentum from Manchester United. I think we're seeing Amrabat getting the ball. Bruno and McTominay are not in the game. This is a prime example of when Scott McTominay doesn't work, because you're not creating chances in and around the box. And at the moment, it's just not working, is it? Why can't we get Mainu and Amrabat together, says Stuart Walker. It's pure petulance. Every manager can see that that's the best midfield pair. Well, I want to see a pair, Stuart. I really want to see a pair in the midfield. And I don't like the McTominay-Bruno thing. I think you've got to pick one or the other, because they both want to get forward, and it leaves Amrabat on his own. And I think in a game like this, you need two midfielders. You need two midfielders there to get hold of the game and give us some platform. A man says, Bayern is currently losing 4-1 to Frankfurt, so it's not impossible for you guys. Well, it is if we play like this. Martial is diabolical, embarrassing. Eric Ten Hag has started him. This midfield is blood boiling. This as well, says Aldo. Liverpool are going to eat this team alive at Anfield, says Ayman. Ayman, you're not claiming that. I've been saying this for weeks. We're getting battered at Liverpool. I'm not ready for it, but I know it's happening. Anthony's having a good game, but his inability to even take a single touch with his right foot is so frustrating and limits him greatly as a player, says Bruns. And Martial will get the blame, but McTominay and Bruno have been non-existent, says HKN. I used to like Martial, but let's be honest, he's a shadow of the player he used to be and has been shambolic. At best, Scott can't be kept on, by the way, says Mario. But we keep McTominay on because he scores the goal, and a conversation needs to be had about McTominay. Brilliant on Wednesday, scored the 2 goals, but you take the goals away, and what does he do? He's almost got to score every game, because if he doesn't score, he's like he was against Newcastle. But we've been saying this for ages, and you get people going, McTominay sat you down. It doesn't sit me down. It makes me stand up. I want Man United to score. But when he doesn't score, there's nothing else. Martial is bane to every United fan's existence, his space. It's clear to see that McTominay cannot play CDM. He plays as a cam, says Rhythm. And Martial and McTominay just ball watching and shirking responsibility constantly. Same old, says Sean. Daniel, welcome to Members Club. Scott and Martial need to come off, and Mainu and Højlund on. I think it would make a massive difference, Tony. I think it would make a massive difference. I don't know whether he will do it. McTominay has lost every ball he's had, says Dan. Our issues isn't the back four, it's our midfielders and striker. There's no build-up, just over-top passing, which doesn't work. Stop the crossing, says Slow Sports News. We shouldn't change the front three. The issue is clearly the midfield. McSauce needs to come off and Bruno needs to pull his finger out, says Red Smurf. Can we release Martial now, says Ken. And also, I feel Martial is out of sync with the team, missing passes and a wrong aura, says Ronnie. And that was a pathetic, toothless display. And this is mid-table football, says Give It to Mikey. But I said it after the game on Wednesday. And I think it's always important to, watch the match reaction, because there's a lot of realism in there. And I did say, fantastic win against Chelsea. And it was fantastic. And for me, it was our best game of the season. But I also said there would be losses before Christmas. There would be bad performances before Christmas. We are inconsistent. We're up and down like a porn star's knickers. We're up and down, and it's so fast. You know it, I know it. It happens a lot. We are very inconsistent, and I think the problem is certain fans, bless them, they want to be consistently good Ten Hag in or consistently bad Ten Hag out. Whereas I accept, and I think some fans accept, well, I don't accept it. I just realise I'm a realist that we're going to have good results and bad results because that's what we are. We're inconsistent. We went to Liverpool last year thinking we were going to win. We were still in a technical title race and we got beat 7-0. We're very inconsistent, and that's because we have a weak mentality. You know, you look at someone like Scott McTominay, 2 goals on Wednesday night, getting the praise he deserves, puts in 45 minutes like that. Why? How? I'd like to sit him down as a psychotherapist and go, how do you play like that after playing like that? How do you get all the praise for Chelsea and then put in a 45 minutes performance like that? Why do you drop off? What is it? And this is the problem with United. Amrabat's playing decent, but surely everyone can see he's limited. I think Barney, he the way he plays, I said this when we bought him, he looks quite unorthodox. Little to no movement off the ball. Pathetic, says Johnson. Red Smurfs gifted 5 memberships. Anthony's been on fire this half. Think he's starting to figure out the league. It's still early, but he's looked shot. He's been the best player on the pitch by a long way, Zach. I thought Maguire played well as well after the mistake of the first goal. And can you please shout out my big pal, Kepper, says Dan. Thank you very much, Dan, and shout out to Kepper as well. I'm just going to have a bit of this lovely carrot cake that have been brought. Look at that. It's even got a carrot design on it. That's just gone cream down on my laptop. I've now got white stuff all over my bloody laptop. Keyboard. I can't speak. I can't speak. What a prat. Well, I'm still going to eat it, but yeah, what changes would you make at half time? That's what I want to talk about next. What changes would you make at half time? So I would... Actually, that's doing a good job wiping that up. Tell you what, if the wife comes in and sees white sticky stuff all over my keyboard, she's going to divorce me. I'll say, watch the stream. Watch the stream. 50,000 people saw it. It's not what you think it is. It's the cream off carrot cake. Sure it is. You'll be hearing from our lawyer on Monday morning. It is. It is. What changes would I make at half time? Well, let me just try this carrot cake. We've built it up so much. That's a good carrot cake, that is. It's very good. Thoughts on Reguilon? Come see, come saw. Half-time changes, Mark, says Red Smurf. Try Mainu for Martial for 15 minutes. And see what he does. And then replace him with Højlund, says Siraj. Danny, the cake's very nice. You're very welcome to come round and have a cup of tea and some of this carrot cake whenever you want. Be nice to do it, mate. That's a lovely cake. It's making me feel better even though United are playing shit. What changes would I make at half-time? What changes would you make at half-time? Jay says Mainu to the rescue. Well, look, if you bring Mainu on, then you can take off Amrabat and go like for like. Or you can take McTominay off and get hold of the midfield and let Bruno be the number 10. I quite like the idea of McTominay for Mainu and Rasmus for Martial. I'm nicking it from the person in the chat, but I like it. I'm Marcus, says at least it's not yogurt or gin. I've ruined 2 laptops in the span of a year, says Marcus. Was it yogurt though? Was it yogurt? So I like the idea of Mainu coming in next to Amrabat, because the problem is if you do Mainu for Amrabat, the same problem will happen. Bournemouth will get at our back 4 playing through. So I would like to see Mainu for McTominay and Rasmus for Højlund. I wouldn't change Garnacho or Anthony for Rashford yet. But I don't think he'll do it. I think McTominay will stay on because he'll be thinking he can always get me a goal. And that's the problem when you've got a player that can get you a goal. We've all been there. You keep them on because they can get you a goal. This is a guy that saved him against Brentford. This is a guy that won him the game against Chelsea. So I don't think he'll do it. But I think that's what I would probably like to see happen is get two people in the midfield, really. Jay says Garnacho's been awful. I think they've doubled up on Garnacho. I noticed that a lot. There's a lot more space for Anthony, which he's exploiting. Chris says we need to get more people in the box with the crosses we get in. The guys are very hasty to shoot. If we want to get more people in the box, Chris, we've got to get higher up the pitch. If we want to get higher up the pitch, we've got to play through the lines better. And Bayern are losing 5-1 to Frankfurt currently. You just know there'll be a reaction on Tuesday. Yeah, it's not necessarily a good thing, is it, Matt, really? That's a carrot. Not a real one. Okay. What's for dinner tonight? I don't know, mate. I'm going till 9 o'clock tonight. I've got this match reaction straight onto That's Football for Villa, Arsenal, and then straight after that I'm on Talk Sport, so I won't be eating till 9. I don't want any sympathy. Some people won't eat at all tonight. Give to charity, you know. But I won't be eating till later. Anana would have saved that carrot cake, says Nasha. And why can't we be consistent? Why can they simply not follow tactics? It's baffling, says Sedo. I think that Ten Hag's probably got a very similar problem to Eddie Howe at the moment, whereby you pick 11 players, but if you can't pick those players, the drop-off is quite big. I mean, look at Newcastle on Thursday night. We go to Goodison Park and we win 3-0. We go to Newcastle, we get beat. Newcastle go to Goodison Park, they get beat 3-0. I think it's to do with consistency. And I genuinely think if Rasmus had started this game, it'd be a different game. I think there'd be more of an atmosphere, there'd be more intensity. So, yeah. McTominay up top, Mainu into the midfield with Amrabat. I don't agree with this. I don't think McTominay can play as a striker. If I was playing centre-back and McTominay was playing striker, I'd stand on the halfway line. I don't think he can hold the ball up like Brian says as well. I think this McTominay as a striker thing is completely redundant and we'll never see it because he can't do it. McTominay is good at arriving in the box unmarked. You put him up front, he'll never get that space. Slow Sports News says all the goals we concede are coming from the midfield. Take McTominay off. And Semenya and Solanke has Reguilon on toast. Every break is from that side. Wan-Bissaka on and moved the low to the right. Says Saif. Is it Saifu, that guy? I'll tell you one sub we haven't spoken about that could very, very, very easily happen is Varane for Reguilon. Burnley are winning 1-0 at Brighton, by the way. Incredible. Right on half-time. You might not be interested in that, but Burnley are beating Brighton. Unbelievable. But one sub we might see is Varane come on for Reguilon. Shaw go to left-back, and Varane come next to Maguire because Reguilon's on a yellow card as well, and he's not necessarily playing well. So they might make that change. Keep an eye on that one. Martial can't hold the centre-backs and it means they can cut off the passing lanes easily, says James. And Mark, where are the goals in this team if not from McTominay? I don't like him as a midfielder, but where else are they going to score from? Which is why I don't think I'll be stunned if he takes off McTominay at half-time. That really was good cake. I'm a massive fan of carrot cake, and that was very, very good. Kazim says he's tweeted the Goldbridge carrot cake thing already. Well, I'd be surprised if out of context Mark Goldbridge hasn't done it. I don't think he has. Well, I've retweeted it for you, pal. I'll give you the credit there. About to get off the go for second half. players are in the tunnel. Driving home for Christmas. I think I'm. You know what? I actually think I'm deluded. I'm deluded. I think we're going to win this game. I'm quite chill. I don't think we'll lose. Boos around Old Trafford at half-time. Let's hope we turn this around. I want Ten Hag to stay, but I fear fans will turn on him if we don't win today, says MUFC. Can we have a word on the loose passes today? There's been so many, and we get countered or lose the attack. We looked much sharper against Chelsea. Robble, Chelsea countered us a lot in the first half. We played well, but they did counter us a lot. Blows my mind that Rashford was once a goalie and McTominay was a striker. The only change I see is Martial. Says Slow Sport News. And best 2 years on my favourite YouTube channel. Cheers for the hilarious memories with more to come. Favourite ones are the charity vid and Deitch, says Tom Grant. Thank you very much for being a member, Tom. If you want to hit the members club, click the join button. You're very, very welcome. And don't forget your Christmas jumpers. You've still got time to get those. United Stand Shopify or links in the live chat for you. Players about ready to go here. I'll let you know when I hear the time of the start. My man of the match is Anthony, but I think Maguire's played well again. I will give him credit for that. McTominay's been the invisible man. And ever tried red sauce with carrot cake? It's so good. What? Tomato ketchup, McD? Carrot cake or sticky toffee with vanilla ice cream, says Kermit. I'll go for the ice cream. Yeah, I'll definitely do that. We're going to still win this, says Emin. You're not deluded. Martial's still on. McTominay still on. There's a lot of underperforming performers. Bruno's got to do better as well. You know I'm a big fan of Bruno, but he's got to do better. McTominay and Rasmus as a front two. Holds up the ball and does all the passing and dribbling while McTominay gets a few tap-ins, says Jack. No changes is pathetic, says Deecher. Mark, my wife and I have recently found out that we're expecting our first child. Hey, it's nothing to do with me, mate. Marco, no, there's more. There's more. He says, a miracle after 7 years trying. Another one for the TUS family. That's great news, Marco. Well done to you and your wife. You know what I always say? You got to, I always say it to a striker, and you've obviously got the same mentality, Marco. Even though you keep missing, keep shooting, because eventually you're going to score. Great news, Marco. Back of the net. Which sounds a bit odd saying about you and your wife, but you know what I mean. She's probably enjoying it. Lots of nice congratulations in the chat. Thanks for the super chats, by the way. As always, appreciate that. And please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner, it's free to do. We're on the road to 1.8 million. We're currently just past... we're very close to 786, actually. We're only 100 away, so please subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. Don't look at the league table at the moment. It doesn't look good. We could actually be up to 5th if we turn this into a win today. Plenty of time to do it, but a very lethargic Manchester United performance, if we're being honest, and hopefully it can get better. I've got Garnacho in my fancy Premier League team. He's just had a shot. That'll go for a corner. Look, it is what it is, and I don't know the situation, but I really did pick Garnacho based on I thought Rasmus was going to start. I tweeted this morning I fancied Rasmus to score today. He can't score if he's on the fucking bench. A lot of what I predicted about United was based on Rasmus starting, and I think it, whether you like Martial or not, I don't think that's the point. If it's an injury or it's a protection thing, then you've got to rotate. But I predicted a United 3-0 based on the fact that I thought he'd keep the same team from Wednesday. There's no benefit in playing Martial over Rasmus. He provides absolutely nothing, and we have seen him not performing for many years. No energy, no hold-up play, says Diego. And what subs would you have made, Mark, says Jack? Well, he's going to have to make them at some point. McTominay and the corner. Yeah, he's going to have to make them at some point. And it will have to be Rasmus on. Continually praising a centre-back who's conceded goals every game can't be a good. Everyone praises Harry's performances, but reality is defending is overall crap, says Stuart Walker. Yeah, but I don't think today is about the defenders. I think today is about the inability to create chances. It's a better start from United, though, I agree. The Ripper, who's a member, says good start from United. Another corner. Ben Maloney, welcome to the Members Club. Thank you very much, pal. Put Marco up front. At least he can actually finish, says Jack. Well, I'm just thinking that, you know, we hardly mentioned Rashford at all. And I said this in the preview. If you're Marcus Rashford, you don't want to be injured. You don't want to be ill. You want to be playing. And if you play in a game like this and it's 0-0 and you score the winner, suddenly people are going to start talking about you again. So it's a big opportunity for Rashford if he can get on. My mum was in stitches when you dropped the carrot cake. She always says, you're listening to that prat again. Christmas merch orders will be here on time, says Niall. Yes, if you get them in now, you'll get them in time, yeah. This team falls apart the moment they meet any sort of motivated team. Everton and Chelsea have been woeful and they were clearly false dawns, says Sakin. I think this team falls apart when it plays a team that is in tune and working hard. Look at Newcastle. I don't think you can look at United and talk about we've got better players. It's whenever we play a team that plays as a team, Brighton, we struggle. Thoughts on Sopranos? Is it worth a 6-season watch? I've never done it, NAU. I gave up after about 6 episodes. I think it's good. I just fell out. You know, I didn't finish Sons of Anarchy either. Bing, 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 bing. Yeah. Yeah. What? I thought you were going out on your bike.
I am. No, not a bike.
Scooter. Come on and play for United if you want. Sheffield United are beating Brentford, apparently. They are 1-0 up. But some really weird results today. This, if somebody fancies a bet and an accumulator, you're getting screwed here. Brighton are losing at home to Burnley. Man United are losing at home to Bournemouth. Sheffield United are beating Brentford, and it's 1-1 between Wolves and Forest. Will Donny ever get a chance, says Shay. Have we forgot how to pass a ball? Jesus wept, says Jack. And do you think Billy Gilmore would be a good investment for United? Young talent, not scared to take the ball and rarely loses possession, says she. Yeah, well, we do need a player like that. But I think we need quite a few players at the moment. Well done, Anthony, again. He will be getting a lot of praise. Shaw's been poor today, says GT. Nasha says Luke Shaw's been very poor. Chris says Martial drops too deep when we're in the box. Playing false 9 leaves us little options. Højlund offers better positioning. He needs to be making these subs, you know, ladies and gentlemen. We're still not creating chances. What do you think the effect of the badly organised pre-season have been so far? Seems like we're always having to catch up in terms of energy and fitness, says Diego. And well, you know, that pre-season was July. I think it's a bit of a cop-out. I don't actually buy into this whole he makes the team run around too much. I think it's a load of bollocks. I think United players are pampered and they need a bit of a kick up the arse. I thought United would be my coupon buster when I put it on today, but turns out the whole league are busting coupons. It's so unpredictable, says Jim. Well, it's like Ten Hag said in the press conference yesterday. He was right. He said everybody's killing everybody. I don't think Liverpool would have won today if AU hadn't got that second yellow card. But he's right. You've got to work hard and play well every game. Otherwise, you get found out. Look at Newcastle, Everton. You know, the games come thick and fast. I understand that teams get tired and they pick up injuries, but it's not a surprise. Like you have to play a lot of games. Mark, my wife and I just had our first child. He has noticeably Maguire's. I'm not. Look, I can't be talking about stuff like that. Thanks for the super chat, but I'm not. If people want to read it, they can. I'm not getting into all that. Sorry. It's a football channel, mate. Jim Ross says, why is Martial still on? There's a lot of side-to-side football from Man United. I think Bournemouth got the script. It's very windy outside, you know. I don't know what it's like in Manchester. 44 miles an hour. It's quite windy for the UK. Rasmus is coming on. Rasmus. I said he's going to score today. Get him on. Get him on. Let's get it up. Let's do it. Come on. Another corner. Rasmus. Look, it might not work, but at least it'll just change the atmosphere in the ground. It'll, you know, give us a little bit more energy. Fazzy says, I'm in Shropshire and the wind is horrendous. Is that because of something you ate or is that because of the weather? Right, Rasmus is on. I presume Martial went off, yeah. I said Rasmus would score today. Martial still getting paid from United is the biggest robbery of the last decade, says Space. Well, we were talking about it before the game. There was an article this morning saying that United are considering giving Martial, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka and Mabry new contracts. How can you move forward as a football club if you keep sticking with the things that aren't good enough? He's going to score today. Rasmus is going to score today. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, we're going to win this game. I've never been concerned. We're going to win this game, and Rasmus is going to score. You know it's true. Cross comes in. McTominay. He couldn't head a balloon, McTominay, on target, could he? Him and Maguire are very good at winning headers, but they can't direct it. Although he did score again. He scored with his head against Chelsea. Sam says it must be hard being Martial and hearing them cheer when the sub is made. I think it is, Sam, but why are you being sympathetic? Why are you being sympathetic about a player being, you know, feeling sorry for a player that's just played for an hour and not made anything happen? I mean, you know, it's not like he hasn't had an hour to do something. We're so bad at corners, says Brian. We need some big changes technically in our coaching. We've been bad at corners and set pieces for years. We've been bad at conceding crosses for goals from crosses for years. We've been bad at picking up the runners for years. Played by Amrabat there. There's so much to improve on at United. But remember, Ten Hag has had to work with a lot of Ollie's coaches. Good play by Garnacho. Do I think Liverpool will win the league, says Liam. I think Liverpool will be top at Christmas. I said that on the podcast a couple of weeks ago. I said it in the international break. And Will laughed at me. Well, he's not laughing anymore. Jack Stewart's having a pre-dinner chicken burger because he's depressed. Please subscribe, by the way, bottom right-hand corner. Bournemouth haven't really done that much this half. I mean, I suppose we take that as a positive. If we concede again, it's game over, by the way. I should say that. Crystal clear. Oh, they nearly bloody scored. I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Cross came into the box. Offside anyway. Are you trying to jinx it? Says, I'm not trying to jinx it. I just have to comment on the game, don't I? He wouldn't have been offside anyway. He would have been offside. He was miles off. That's a foul. Give him a booking as well. Ten Hag has his own coaches he picked himself, says Eric. No, he only brought in about 2 or 3. Bournemouth centre-back's just been booked for fouling Erasmus. Oh, is he booked Rasmus? Oh, he booked Rasmus for asking for the yellow card. Wow, you can't do that. These referees won't stand it. So Rasmus gets fouled, and it should have been a yellow card to the Bournemouth player, but because Rasmus asked for a yellow card, he books Rasmus. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Here's Rasmus. I think he fell over. Or was he offside? Offside. Offside. I don't. How the fuck can he be offside there? What? Ten Hag's baffled. I think we're all baffled. It's just not offside. I mean, he wasn't going to score, but we were on the attack. But they don't even know their own rules. Basically, Rasmus is coming back from an offside position. Bournemouth have the ball. He's onside. Bournemouth still have the ball. Pass is played. Rasmus intercepts it, and they say offside. Fucking don't even know their own bloody rules. I don't know who paid the referees this game, but they paid them well, says LJ. We can't be losing at home again to another fucking bottom half team. Maguire needs to find a pass here. Someone needs to give him a pass. Good ball, Bruno. Bad play by Bruno. No, I don't think Bruno's played well tonight. You don't take Bruno off though. He's the captain of the team. And he creates more chances than anybody else in the league. You don't take Bruno off. I'd sub Garnacho off. I think Dev, I wouldn't be opposed to it. You've got to use subs. Mark, the ref Peter Banks is a scouser, says Kanye. The only consistent thing in the Premier League is the inconsistency of the referees, says Roberto. I'm doing a watch-along for Villa against Arsenal, by the way, at 5:30. So if you want to join me for that, you're very welcome on That's Football. And I'm on TalkSport from 7:30 till 9 if you want to call in about the United situation. And there'll be a few journalists, there'll be a few Man United correspondents enjoying this, I tell you. They've been waiting for their chance to go back in on Ten Hag. Bruno. Is there a penalty there? No one seemed to claim it. I wish he'd take McTominay off. I wish he'd take McTominay off. I know he might get as an equaliser. He might win as the game, but... It's Bournemouth on the attack. They're still picking up the second balls. Goes out for a goal kick. Boyden, I'm not wishing your friend Peter, second name File, a happy birthday because I'm not an idiot. Every minute that passes, Rashford is feeling better, says Brian. I think this Rasmus shot hits the body of the Bournemouth player. So it wouldn't be a penalty. Bayern lost 5-1. I'm starting to, I tell you what, I am starting to get worried about United now. The thing is, somebody just said in the chat, ICAM just says, I'm dreading Anfield. I said this at half time. We can't go to Anfield and play like this. You can't go to Anfield and leave Amrabat on his own in the midfield with McTominay just dancing around looking for goals in the box and Bruno as the attacking midfield. You can't even fucking play like this at Anfield. So when is he going to start changing to play away a style that works away from home? Here's Delo. What? Why? Why is he fucking shooting from there? This is just this. This. All he's got to do is cut it back and he fucking shoots. No, he's not terrible. He's done everything right. He's you know, Anthony again, lovely ball. He's got to cross that. Keeper's never not anticipating that down the near post. Give credit to Anthony though. Give and go again. Eric says Anthony's crap. Mate, football's not for you. X-Pol says, Bournemouth have been fantastic defensively, fighting for every ball and showing the heart and passion of a proper team. If only we could show at least half of that, we'd be in the game. Well, this is the problem that any Man United manager faces. You know, getting 11 players to play collectively for 90 minutes, week in, week out, has been the holy grail for Man United. Man United really hasn't had any cohesion since Sir Alex. As a Dane, sad to see that Eriksson and Højlund haven't made a difference. Come on, you Gunners, says Nerdy. And this team just can't score. 16 games and so few goals. Well, it's 2-0. It's 2-0. It's a fucking joke. It's an absolute fucking joke. It's 2-0 to Bournemouth. That's going to be game over. Cross into the box. As we said at half-time, you know, United's form, you beat Chelsea, you play well, you play Newcastle, you play shit. You play Bournemouth at home, you play shit. The form is up and down like a porn star's knickers. And that defence, unfortunately, has all the structural confidence of a chocolate mousse brick in a heatwave. And guess what? It leaves a big brown sticky mess. It's shit. Absolute shit. I don't even know where the goal comes from. Reguilon, I told you, he's fucking rubbish. Reguilon's defensively shit. He's defensively shit, Reguilon. That's not Luke Shaw's fault. How's that Luke Shaw's fault? It's not his man. The player comes on the back post and batters him. How is that Luke Shaw's fault? It's Reguilon. Game over. Game over. It's fucking, this game's over now. Here's Bruno. Into Garnacho. 20 minutes to go. Fucking hell. Well, I just tweeted it there. I said, this obsession with McTominay has got to stop. We're not Stoke. I think if you're Stoke and you've got a midfielder like... It's like Rory Delap and his throw-ins, isn't he? That's what Scott McTominay's like. Rory Delap used to play for Stoke because he had a brilliant throw-in. And McTominay's playing for Man United because he scores goals from the midfield. But what he doesn't do is do everything else in the midfield. He can't pass, he can't tackle, he can't help his other midfielder. And every goal we concede is coming from the fact that they're getting at our defence. They're getting at our defence. It's incredible. We're so bloody inconsistent. Also, Onana's not that good, says Real Stuff. I mean, I'm not blaming Onana for that, really. Well, that's that. Anfield is going to be Ten Hag's last game. Chris, can I just say, if you're talking about Ten Hag out, you're a fucking prick, Chris. You're a fucking prick. He's just won Manager of the Month. We're 3 points off fourth. What is this Ten Hag out movement all about? I don't. It's the excuse of an idiot. How is he sackable? What are you bloody talking about? How is it even being spoken about that Ten Hag needs sacking? We're 3 points off fourth place. He's not getting the sack. Shut up. Stop talking nonsense. He will not get the sack. He should not get the sack. What you're doing is lashing out at a manager because you don't understand that your club's fucking shit. Old Trafford should have been fixed years ago. We're in massive debt. We've bought fucking idiots for years who earn ridiculous amounts of money. And you want to sack another manager and bring somebody else in. Fuck off. Idiot. Idiot. Absolute idiot. There is no reason for Ten Hag out to be shouted. We're not in that position. What we need is what we didn't get. We needed the Glazers to fuck off and we needed to rebuild the club properly. Maybe Sir Jim Ratcliffe's going to do something, maybe he's not. But sacking a manager is so boring. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing sack another manager. And do what, Chris? What are you going to do? What are we going to do if we sack Ten Hag next week? What are we going to do? Well, there won't be an answer because you don't have a fucking answer, do you? What are we going to do if we sack Ten Hag? Give Steve McLaren the job. It's raining. He can bring his fucking brolly out. 3-0. Fuck off. 3-0. This is a fucking joke. Look at them all. Look at them all. Look at all the bloody defenders. Look at all the United team. Stood there, out of their depth. They've got that vacant look in their eyes. You know when a dog's taking a shit? Have you ever looked it in the eye? That's what United's defence looked like. Just vacant. Absolute fucking joke. How are we conceding from another fucking cross on a corner? Absolutely incredible. Mentality of a dead wasp. How are we conceding from a fucking corner? No one on the back post. I don't know. I just do not know. Fucking, you know, how are we losing 3-0 to Bournemouth at home? They're just basically Burnley with a fucking pier. I'm never going. I've never been to Bournemouth and I'm never going. They can piss off. They only get 11,000 fans. Shite. And Arna standing there like a statue, says Nemo. There needs to be serious questions asked about why we're so terrible in the air. Why do we need win, lose or second balls? What is the mentality, says Robert. I'm Ten Hag in, but let's be frank, he's lost them. Very few managers would see this out, says Sean. There could be a conversation about Ten Hag, his stubbornness, why we're playing Shaw at centre-back while Varane sits on the bench, obsession with McTominay. The people that want manager out are the same that wanted goalie out. How did that turn out, says Brian. Exactly, I think you're right with that. Man United defence, stable as a Jenga tower in an earthquake, says Novella. Sean says, Ten Hag has got to just admit the keeper situations. He's had a mare. Anana needs dropping. He's awful. He ain't been even good with his feet. Not all his fault, but last year we got saved a lot, says Sean Turner. Welcome to Members Club, Slurpee. Can't wait for the leaks in the morning, says Dean. Well, as I said before, natural world-class centre-half on the bench. This is on the manager, says Marcus. Can we go straight to That's Football channel and forget this ever happened, says Nick P. Ten Hag should leave because he is too good for our now weak-minded football club, says Matt. And this defence offers as much protection as a suit of armour made by wet tissue, says Chris. These players are not good enough. Get out of our club, get out, says Trey. And it's not just Ten Hag that needs to go. So does Murta. The recruitment and most of these players is terrible, says Speck. Yet another game down to Ten Hag's fault. Players like Varane, Mainu and Palestri on the bench for another 90 minutes, says Yark. And nice cross-country service from Bournemouth to Manchester, just saying. Got nothing else, says Ben. Remember when we were all talking about a top 4 charge? Not with this bunch of flogs, says it's Mark. I'm genuinely just shocked by this. I'm genuinely shocked by this. You know, I know we're going to lose games, but just 3-0 to Bournemouth at home is a worry. I support the manager, but I can't lie. There are so many question marks over his decisions, says Dimitri. Would you take Bournemouth's roster and quality as of now? They look like that Brighton of last season and what Villa are now, says Tyrone. Getting beat by a championship team is pathetic, says David. And Frank says, mate, the mental part is also down to the manager. It's time you wake up. Frank, look. You're entitled to your opinion, but what I'm telling you is this. I want to try and communicate this in the most placid and calm way as possible. But if you're saying Ten Hag out, you're a fucking idiot. Like, you've got no fucking idea about how football works. We're not in a position to sack the manager. We can't afford it, and the position in the league doesn't justify it. We're not in a position in the league to sack the manager. We won't do it, and we shouldn't do it. Look at the league table. We're 3 points off fourth. You're not going to get sacked for that. It's not going to happen. So if you're saying Ten Hag out, you're doing it because you don't think he's the right manager, but it's not going to happen. It's like it's ridiculous in my mind because it's not the right thing to do at the right time to do it. So it won't happen. My second point would be, what will you do when you do it? Who's going to be your manager when you do it? And nobody ever answers this question. They're like the person that, you know, is starving and throws the burger out the window because they don't want it. And you say, well, you've got nothing else. You should have had the burger. What are you going to replace him with no money? What are you going to do? Who's going to come into Manchester United and take the job? And also, what does the next manager do with £400 million of Ten Hag players, £200 million of Ollie players, Mourinho players? What's going to happen? What are you going to do? So basically, what I say to those people who are saying Ten Hag out, fine, that's your choice. Well done for making it. I respect that. But you're acting like petulant children because you're just saying it because you're angry, you're frustrated, you don't like what you see, but you've not thought through a plan because you don't have to. It's unaccountable, strong opinion, because you've not bothered to look at reality. You've not thought about it. I mean, he's bringing Johnny Evans on instead of Rafael Varane here. We're going to get battered at Anfield Arcade. I called that weeks ago. The weather is terrible outside. The players don't fancy it, says Raz. And I said Chelsea was an easy game, says Gamby. Luke Shaw at centre-back in this game was not a good idea, says Salib. Look, Luke Shaw's a good left centre-back. I haven't got a problem with him doing that. I haven't got a problem with Luke Shaw playing at centre-back. I'm struggling to see why we've lost this game. But one thing I will say is I'm not 100% up Ten Hag's arse. Like, the McTominay thing is a joke. He's still on the fucking pitch. And when the match reaction happens, I will lose my shit. Because he's kept him on for the whole fucking game. Whatever happened to the Glazers out movement, says Reswan? Well, everyone gave up. When has it ever been about what should be done? This is just what's probably going to happen, says Scott. Arcade's gifting and memberships. Too many things wrong to put in a super chat. Say my name, Mark. It'll make you smile. Drew. P-balls. Way too many players survive at this club window after window, even though they know they're absolutely hated by the fan base. We deserve to be a joke, says Darwell. Well, look, what did I say about, you know, there was this big stupid stat from Sky that Man United with Maguire win loads of games and don't concede many goals. He's won he's won Player of the Month, deservedly, but since he's come back into the team, we've conceded shitloads of goals. So there, you know, my point is everything's just twisted around Man United. We're miles off where we need to be. Anana has had his change. He has to go, says Craig. Take off the rose-tinted specs. Eric Ten Hag has to go along with the players. No, he doesn't have to go, Darren. I have never known a football club sack a manager who is 3 points off fourth place. And no football club should be sacking a manager who is 3 points off fourth place. That's my point. There'll be idiots in our fan base tonight going, I've seen enough, I've seen enough. Ten Hag's got to go. Sack him tonight. And I'm like, fuck off, idiot. What are you talking about? It might be the beginning of the end. I said that a couple of weeks ago. It could be the beginning of the end for Ten Hag. 100%. 100% could be the beginning of the end for Ten Hag. But it's not tonight. You don't sack your manager tonight. That's fucking stupid. Mark, I'm baffled. How can we play really high intensity one game and then the next game players looking like they can't be bothered? Because I saw between the lines, I see dead bodies. I mentioned this on the Friday night show. Scott McTominay, after the game on Wednesday, said, we played really well because the manager did some light training sessions. And I thought, that's a bit worrying because we hear about the players moaning about having to do lots of running and lots of work in training. I just don't think they want to put the work in. And I think we've seen it again today. They don't want to put the work in. Abdul says, Mark, stop bucking the manager. He has no tactics. He's been winning scrappy wins. That's why he got the manager of the month, but he's not good enough. Shut up, Abdul. And why do we have a left back at centre back and two centre backs on the bench? Well, Crown, I didn't see anybody complaining about Luke Shaw being the left centre-back last January when we were playing Barcelona off the pitch in the new camp. I mean, I don't mind people having an intelligent opinion, but this reactionary shit is stupid. Like, oh, suddenly Luke Shaw's a bad left centre-back. Weak minds sink under prosperity as well as adversity. These players are all weak-minded, says Jack. McDonkey useless in the midfield. Start Mainu with Amrabat, says Richard. Scott, thank you very much for your chat. Look, I will, in the match reaction, I will come down on Ten Hag big time because of how he's used Scott McTominay tonight. But I think the big problem at Manchester United, and it's been stated numerous times, is not the manager, it's the fucking players. The players are a fucking joke. Like, they are. They were leaking against the manager on Monday. These players are shit. I don't like losing 3-0 to Bournemouth, by the way. But I just think the blame gets put on the wrong area. Like, you listen to people, time for Ten Hag to go, it's not good enough. And I'm like, look at the fucking team. Look at the fucking team. How many of these players sacked Ollie? How many of these players sacked Rangnick? Look at the fucking team. And you want to sack another manager and keep these bastards still playing for Manchester United? The players are the fucking problem. And yet the manager again will be the person that gets the blame. No, let's sack the manager, Mark. It's definitely the manager. It's definitely the manager. We need to sack the manager. And I'm like, fuck off. I'm bored of it. I'm bored of having to sack the manager. Get rid of these shithouse players who can't be arsed, who turn up every now and again. I mean, look at Rashford now. He's running around like he's obsessed. Has he done that all season? No. McTominay on Wednesday night scores 2 goals, has a great game. Can't be arsed today. They can't do it week in, week out. Some of them are really good lads. Some of them play good games and the next game they're shit. It's not personal. They're not Man United players. They're not Man United players because they can't do it every week. They haven't got that mentality to run around and work hard every fucking week. And that is why we need to get rid of these fucking players and rebuild the football club again. Rashford's come on and done really well for 10 minutes. But for 4 months, he's done fuck all. When they've got a point to prove, they can do it. But they can't wear a Man United shirt week in, week out, minute in, minute out. They can't do it. They're the wrong players for this football club. And until we realise that, we will struggle. I've got player ratings to do for you. I dread it. I dread it. I absolutely dread it. I did not expect this today. I did not expect this today. It's as I said, I'm going to say it for the 3rd time. We're up and down like a porn star's knickers. It's just, you never know whether you're coming or going. Quite literally. You just do not know what to expect with United. You just do not know. It's incredible, really. Fucking don't know what to say. The question is, do we trust Ten Hag to replace this Prats at the moment? Says Rudy. I support United, but I'm not blind. People want us to play like vintage United, but most of our players belong to Yeovil, says Mario. Makes me think maybe we didn't play that great against Chelsea. They just played bad, says Tom. I don't think it's fair to blame all the managers. Look how many players from our missed passes from our players. Look, Bruno's been shit tonight. I'm a big fan of Bruno, but he's been shit tonight. You know, Luke Shaw had a bad game. Bruno got a yellow card, so won't play against Liverpool. It's just incredible, isn't it? it sinks you, man. It really does sink you. Arfoot says you deserve everything for sitting on the fence. I ain't sitting on no fucking fence, you prick. There ain't no fence for me to sit on. I'm stretching my back at the moment, but what fence am I sitting on? Are you thick? I take it you struggle to compute intelligent conversation. I'm surprised you even managed to construct a sentence. What fence am I sitting on here? What I'm doing is expressing an opinion you don't like. And you need to grow the fuck up and understand that in life, people will have a different opinion to you. I'm not sitting on a fence. I think if this is a fence, then fair play. But how can it be a fence to say, if you're Ten Hag out, you're a fucking idiot? That's not sitting on a fence, mate. That's expressing a very strong opinion. That's not a fence. These are the wrong players. I completely agree. So why new players like Kobe sat on the bench? Breathe some new life into the team. And why is Varane not playing? Says Daniel. I agree with you on Ten Hag. Not falling out with Varane and playing McTominay every week makes me question his judgment. It's really questionable, says Diego. This United team is similar to Arsenal, to teams that finish 8th. Need to move the older players on and get younger players in, says Ad. Look, I'm furious. I'm furious with Ten Hag. I'm furious with Ten Hag, but I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to say Ten Hag out because it's stupid. You don't sack a manager 3 points off 4th. We're not that football club. We're not good enough to be sacking managers that were 3 points off 4th, and we shouldn't be so arrogant to think that we are. But I'm furious with how he's used Scott McTominay again. GP says Ten Hag has got into beef with more experienced players, better proven players, all to satisfy his ego. The most Jekyll and Hyde team in the league is Man United, says Daryl. I need to put the player ratings in the chat. Well, at least I can use one of my jokes on Monday night that I was going to use about McTominay, but after Wednesday I thought I couldn't use it, but I can definitely fucking use it now. Right, let's put the player ratings in the video description. Mark every player out of 10, 6 being the average, star for your man of the match. Good luck. If you've got more chance of finding Scott McTominay in the midfield than you have of finding man of the match in this game, I think. But good luck with that challenge. Disgraceful, says Tom Reacts. Well, I can't argue with that, mate. McTominay, Maguire's just gone and got caught in possession. 4-0. Maguire's going to get roasted for that. Fucking hell. 4-0. 4-0. What did I say? What did I say in the summer? What did I say in the summer? What did I say in the summer? I said in the summer, Manchester United are going to get battered 2 or 3 times this season. Before the season even started, I said Man United are going to get battered at least a couple of times this season. It's not even Christmas and it's already happened. It's already happened. This is Bournemouth 4, Manchester United 0 at Old Trafford. It's a mentality. Harry Maguire has had a great month. He's player of the month for the Premier League. And he's had a shit game. Absolute shit. Luke Shaw, shit game. Onana, come in with his fucking feet. It's just, what keeper does that? What keeper goes for the ball with their fucking feet? You're a goalkeeper, mate. Use your bloody hands. I just don't get it. I just don't get it. They're just... Well, they're looking at a VAR in this for a possible handball. Oh, just give them the fucking goal. I can't be arsed with this anymore. I tell you what, let them have the goal. Give them the goal. I don't fucking want any more delays. Give them the goal. Stop. Shove your VAR up your arse. Oh, was there a possible handball? Fuck off. Not interested. Get on with it. 3-0. Goal's not been given. Give him the fucking goal. Give him the goal. Fuck off. Ah, boo. VAR. Boo. Boo. Give him the fucking goal. Even as a United fan. Give him the fucking goal. They deserve it. What? Right. Justice for Bournemouth. Give him the goal. We've got nearly 100,000 watching here. Please do subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner. My match reaction is coming up straight after this, and I'm going to lose my shit. I've been trying to be calm here for the last few bits. We've been falling out a little bit. We're all in a very, very high state of anxiety and frustration. Please subscribe to the United Stand, bottom right hand corner. We're live every night at 8 o'clock, every morning at 10. Just to let you know the rest of my great day, I've got to do a match reaction with player ratings where I'm going to unload this shit on these wankers. And then guess what? On TalkSport tonight at 7:30, I've got to do a call-in show. Oh, great. That's going to be great fun, isn't it? If the structure, mentality and work ethic of the players and club isn't there, it doesn't matter who the manager is, says Ian. And I don't know who or what exactly is wrong here. We're playing good, but we're not constructive while attacking, and no bench option can provide anything, says Mohit. It comes down to pride and loyalty, really. Are they playing themselves or for the club? Right now, there isn't really any loyalty or determination, says Nerdy. De Gea can't pass with his feet right. He wasn't the best at it, but he stopped fucking shots. Oh, Billy, don't get me started on Onana. He's fucking rubbish. You know, Onana is so bad with his hands that I bet when he checks himself in the shower, he comes up with a different answer every time he does it. His ball handling skills are so bad. Why has he gone with his feet there? Why has he gone with his feet there? I mean, I know the goal's not been given, but why has he gone with his feet? You know what, though? Mark my words. Mark my words. We'll beat Bayern on Tuesday. We'll beat Bayern on Tuesday. You know it's going to happen. You know we're going to beat Bayern on Tuesday. Because they'll react. They'll react. We'll beat Bayern on Tuesday. We will. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Ten Hag looks furious. And well, he might. That's shocking. That's absolutely shocking. Right, I'm going to get onto the player. I'm going to get onto the match reaction because I'm going to be watching Villa Arsenal at half 5. I need some proper football fix. But I'm going to lose my shit on Ten Hag as well at the start of this match reaction. I'll see you over there in about 60 seconds.